Okay, a little diversion from the circuit board work. Gonna put a little bit of effort into maintenance on the motorbike. First thing I'm gonna do is replace the blinker lights at the front and the back and the reverse light with little LED bulbs. Hopefully these are the right size and spec. I bought them in Bangkok at my favorite electronics neighborhood. They said it would work. We'll give it a try. Then I'm going to adjust the shock absorbers because they're bottoming out a little too easily for me. And in order to do that, you've got this double locking ring system right here, which you need this tool, which grabs on in one of the holes, and then you tighten or loosen like that, and you need two of them in conjunction to tighten. I had a hard time finding said tool, even though it's like a 3-baht piece of stamped metal. I went around to a few motorbike shops, tried to explain what I wanted, finally found one, and I think I ended up buying the guy's tool in the shop, and he charged me the equivalent of $10 for the two of these. But it's like I didn't have a choice, and he made a little profit that day, so that's fine. Next thing we're going to do is I've noticed that when I'm driving, it seems like the top speed shift indicator, or the top speed limit indicator, I always drive in 1, but it's got 2 and 3. 1 is 40 kilometers top speed, 2 is 50, 3 is 60. I feel like sometimes it grabs and wants to jump to the next level. So I think the connector on the controller is loose under here. So we're going to take a look at that. Then the last thing is the dashboard is loose on this side. And it's good here, but there's a loose screw or something broken here on this plastic shroud at the top of the steering yoke. So let's dive in. Okay, front is off. The blinker light is actually this little glass end 2-wire jobby, which exactly hopefully matches that. Now, this is an orange bulb, and when I bought them, I had to work out which ones were white and which ones are orange. I think this signifies orange, 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 white. But I'll hook it up to my 12-volt supply and we'll see how they look. Okay, here's the new bulb. It's beautiful. It's saturating the camera's camera lens, and it looks more yellow here, but it definitely has an orange look to it. And it's only drawing 38 milliamps. Be interesting to compare that with the incandescent bulb that's in the bike now, because whenever the blinker's on, I can see the headlights actually dimming as the blinking's going on. So I think there's some pretty significant current draw with those bulbs. One thing to worry about with these bulbs is they do have polarity. This is the negative terminal, and the little black clip-on is the positive terminal. So I've got to figure out how that works in the bike and get that oriented correctly before I screw everything together again. Okay, here's the old glass incandescent bulb. 686 milliamps. That's over half an amp just to light up my blinker. Jeez, I should have done this long time ago. This is where like little vampire drain things are in your electric vehicle. So let's get that swapped out. Oh yeah, baby. Check the polarity of the wires. Blinky, blinky. Off. Awesome. Now, okay, let's swap out the rears and the reverse and brake lights. And here we are at the back, blinking away. Very interesting little side effect is happening here. The blinker doesn't actually go all the way down to dark. It's like it hits the peak and then drops down and hits the peak and drops down. It's hard to see because of the saturation on the camera. But I think it's because these draw such little power that the blinker circuit is usually controlled by a resistor and a capacitor that determines the time that it's off and then on and off and then on. And it's designed knowing the resistance of the bulbs to get the timing right. And we're just not drawing enough power to make the bulb go off. I don't think this is going to be a problem in traffic. It's pretty clear that it's blinking, and I'll come around here and I'll shut it off. So when we're not making a blinking, nothing happens. But when we do blink, it's half on and then full off. And the fronts have also gone into this mode. So I can live with that. Okay, I'm now inside the dashboard. I took this screw out and this screw out, and this used to be attached down here, and it's no longer attached, so it was only held in by one side, which exactly explains our problem. It looked like I had previously tried to epoxy this in the past. I have really bad luck with epoxy and crazy glue and any other kind of material that's designed to stick two things together. So I'm going to have to think of a new plan to put this in place and give us a really solid attachment. Well, I think I ended up going with the same acrylic and plastic adhesive that I probably used last time. This may just be a regular occurrence. The funny thing, the sad thing is this is a single molded piece that they must slip on to the entire steering yoke at the factory, and then they bolt everything in. So to replace this, I would have to take the entire steering yoke out of the bike. But we'll give this some time to cure. Okay, I did the shock absorber adjustment. That tool worked perfectly. It started out about here, and I doubled it up to here. We'll see if that helps the bottoming out, firm up the suspension a little bit. Well, and if it's not good, then I'll just play with it again. There's the connector that leads into the controller. I think it's at least the wire is loose for the speed selection switch, so I pried back this plastic panel, stick my hand in there, and give her a good shove and see if that fixes the problem. In the process of doing the final checkouts, I found this. The nut was actually wound almost all the way off, which means my brake handle was coming loose. Brilliant. Little Loctite should fix that up. Would have been a good idea in the factory. And last but not least, I decided to dive in and figure out why the tail light and the brake light weren't coming on. I was tracing connections all the way up through here, underneath connectors, 12 volts, and then I finally checked the resistance of the brake light or the tail light wire from here to the connector for the bulb, and it ain't showing nothing, and that means there was a break in that wire. So I took apart the entire rear of the bike again, only to find that this connector had slipped open. Alert viewers will remember my rants about crap connectors. All I did was push it together, and we now have the tail light and the brake light. Tail light, brake light, because of that. So I'm going to put a zip tie around that to hold it in place, so I don't have to do this again. People, don't use crappy connectors in your products. Thank you. As you stare out on my beach, I would ask you to subscribe to my channel and click like on this video so YouTube thinks I'm worthy again, and I have so many people on my channel that they'll give me 10 cents a day in ad revenue. So I thank you for that.